The views expressed in this episode are that of mine and mine alone. If you don't like what I'm about to say or you don't agree with it, that's what the conversation is for. Hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up via email. And with that being said, what's going on, everyone? It's Dorian, represent Convos In The Park, coming at you with today's episode entitled The Privileged Generation. Now, some of you may wonder, well, what do you really consider the privileged generation? Let me give you a brief breakdown of what I think it is. Okay, so I'll start with the baby boomers. You know, they were the ones that were born after people came back from World War II. So you had that generation. Then, coming from that generation, you know, they finally grew up, had their kids. Most of those can be considered Generation X. So then you got Generation X, which is pretty much my generation growing up. You know, now we have what I consider the internet generation, or quote unquote the privileged generation. Now, those that are born, I say between 1990s, like the late 1990s into the 2000s. Some of you may not agree, but I think as far as access to things, they had it a hell of a lot easier than we did growing up. If we wanted information, we had to go to a library. We had to go dig in an encyclopedia. We had to look in dictionaries. We had other people older than us to get most of our information. Nowadays, everything is just a click away. One click or a swipe, and they got the information. You know, if we wanted to watch certain things, you know, was no streaming, wasn't none of that. You had to pop in a VHS. If you were lucky to have one of those, or when I was growing up, you were even luckier. You had a DVD player or Laserdisc player. And then, like I said, with the internet, things have gotten a lot easier. Everything is at the push of a button. Everything is instant access for those, you know, that want that kind of stuff. Now, where does that tie in with everything? It ties in like this. Most of the people that are, or I say most of the kids that were born during this privileged generation time, I'm not going to say it's all of them, but it's majority from what I've seen, think that they should just get everything on a silver platter. They don't want to put in no real hard work. They don't want to try and put in no real time to like quickly grow their craft and whatever they're doing, whether it be, you know, people trying to get popular on Vine, more power to them. If they got talent and they're funny or whatever, cool. But you have those that may have work a regular 9 to 5, you know, they think, oh, well, because I'm like this, I don't need to, you know, maybe start off, you know, putting in some work at a McDonald's or something like that. You know, they think they should just start off getting high salary, you know, high paying jobs. Well, it doesn't really work like that. Hell, a lot of my generation still think that they should get high paying jobs without putting in some kind of effort, which is sad in the first place. But I see it more commonly with the privileged, quote unquote, privileged generation. So what do I think it stems from? Honestly, I think it stems from Generation X. I think it stems from hip hop and people watching music videos and not really, I would say, adding a foundation to what's being shown on those videos. You know, we'll just sit our kids, not saying that it's everybody, but I think we just sit our kids in front of a TV and let them learn from what's going on TV without maybe giving them, you know, some kind of training, or I won't say training, but at least teaching them about what's coming on the TV. You know, you may see a Rick Ross video or somebody like that, and then it's thinking, then all they, you know, without any background on it, like, okay, this is what Rick Ross is about, you know, this is what he does, you know, they instantly see it and think, oh, well, that's all it takes? That's all it takes for me to get on? That's all it takes for me to get paid? Oh, then, shoot, forget putting in the work. I'm just going to do this and take the easy way out. And I've always come to learn that easy money gets blown easily fast, or you lose it just as easy as you got it. Now, putting in the hard work, I admit, it can be difficult. Shoot, when I started with Comcast, I thought, maybe this was the worst thing that I've ever done. But after putting in, I've been with them for about a year now, and I gotta be honest, I find enjoyment in it. And that's from putting in, the time to get better at it. Maybe learning a newer or more efficient way, to install something or to troubleshoot an issue that's going on. But then again, that's just, like I said, this is all my point of view. So how can we alleviate that? I would say easiest thing to alleviate most of the problems with the privileged generation and, instant gratification for everything, guide them, teach them, take some of them under the wing, show them the process that it may take to get a job, show them how to write a proper resume, show them, the way they should dress, the way they should act within an interview so they can get those higher paying jobs. Teach them that they need some kind of education or at least some kind of technical background, into what they're doing. Now, if they think that, they want to go the YouTube route, put a couple YouTube videos out, that takes time and effort too. I mean, you just can't make one and think that as soon as you get 1 million views that you're gonna get paid. It doesn't really work like that. If you're gonna get into something like that, take the time to focus. Take the time to learn about what's going on. Now, I'm making these YouTube videos not so for the money. I'm doing it more to reach out to people. To have these kind of conversations about certain things, spark up topics about different matters and see where everyone is at. Maybe we can get on one accord. So that's pretty much ends my rant on the privileged generation. Thank you for watching. And if you feel that the things that I said may be wrong, hey, it could be. Like I said, this is all for conversation. So, that being said, hit us up on the Facebook page. Hit us up on the YouTube channel when this episode posts. Leave comments there. Put something in the discussion section. Hit us up on Twitter. And let's keep this conversation going. Again, this is Dorian from Convos In The Park. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace. Are you in that convo yet? Why not?